So if you're a DoorDash Dasher, really in the last week, we've been seeing some pretty critical changes to the information that you're seeing on your order request screen, all of the information that you're looking at to try to make an actual decision if you should accept an order, if it's worth it, or if you should decline that order. So in this video, I have some updates from our community here, from other drivers, and really the heartbeat of what's going on with this issue here, because this is really affecting one of the critical screens that you look at to make that business decision as a DoorDash Dasher. So I appreciate you being in the video training today. I'm not going to waste your time. This is really fresh data from our community here, so you can be in the know with everything that's going on. But hey, if this is the first time that you and I are meeting, my name is Mike, and really it's my job here on the channel to help you in the gig economy. It's making money, it's creating different revenue streams this year. So if you are new here, consider subscribing. And one of actually the biggest player in the food delivery space, if you want to have a side hustle delivering for some of these apps, it is DoorDash. Statistically, they are the market leader, really now having a over 50% market share, including to statistics group second measure. So let's get you in the know first here. Let's just jump right into it. So this really just broke within the last week or so. Really, the Dasher community on different forums, etc., over on our Discord as well. This was brought to my attention over there as well. So there is a link down below in the description if you want to join our Discord community. It's a free community. And we're noticing this. Let me know if you've been seeing this here. Hey, everyone, I see it in the video today. Joe, I see it in here. Robert, thanks for being here. My twin brother Matt is actively driving right now, making some crazy money. Go subscribe to his channel right now. Your driver team, Matt, right there. He's having a killer shift today. You're going to see that later in the week. Lisa saying hello to Matt, and everyone, thanks for being in the training today. So on the left is your traditional order screen, right? So you're going to see, okay, my pay, $10 in this case. And it includes the Dasher pay. That's your base pay, right? It's time, it's miles, it's a desirability. And it includes the customer tip. Hey, if you didn't know this, Uber Eats is doing this as well. Most every market should have that on Uber Eats. That was an update really, maybe a year or so ago. It's including the customer tip on Uber Eats. They used to not even show you that. Well, now we're kind of reverting back to that on DoorDash. And that's a problem, being the biggest player in the space. On the right, here's the update. And I constantly need to hear from you. Are you seeing the left? Are you seeing the right? Today's announcement, really updates are coming from you. We're gonna really compile some of this data together. But look, I don't see the complete pay anymore. This was a screenshot, again, sent over on our Discord. Now I'm just seeing, okay, this order is gonna take 28 minutes. So, I mean, do you care about how long it's gonna take? I mean, yeah. You can see that on the regular screen, just looking at, okay, the current time and the miles, et cetera, you can get an estimate. But as a Dasher, really on any food delivery app, the main thing you care about is pay. So if we're now seeing, okay, well, the $10 disappeared and it's being substituted with the estimated trip time, I don't really care about that. And look underneath that, it now says earn $2.50 in a DoorDash pay, which is again the base pay, plus an unknown tip amounts, plus 100% of tips. And I see your comments under that video. Make sure to watch that video after this one if you haven't seen the initial announcement on this. But there was one comment that said, hey, I mean, 100% of zero is zero. So we don't even know if this 28-minute order is even going to include a tip. Right? Because again, I mean, 100% of nothing is nothing. So let's get into what we know. And I'm going to show you what you've been noticing in your marketplace. And I need your help here. If this is the first time that you're seeing this screen, in fact, let's just ask you right now, do you have the traditional order request screen, or are you seeing that new order request screen that is omitting the tip? And I'm going to show you here in a second some of the data that we compiled with over 2,300 respondents of what you're actually seeing in the field. But just for the training today, let us know, are you seeing this traditional order screen, or are you seeing the new screen that's omitting the tip? So here's what we know. Here's the latest on this development. This is affecting a moderate amount of marketplace. This is either a beta test or what's described as an A/B test. Now, I'm leaning more towards an A/B test. What is that? So whenever you're A/B testing something, you have version A and you got version B. Now, with an A/B test, you're really toggling between both. So a beta is more so an update of new features. So for instance, this just popped to mind here, but Tesla is testing their full self-driving beta. That is not an A/B test. That is a beta because it is eventually new features. So they're unrolling that full self-driving to some drivers. So this, the order request screen here, I'm thinking it's more so an A/B test. Doordash is saying, okay, here's version A, your traditional screen that we just saw here, and here's version B. And what they're doing is they're toggling between both. I do not think this is going to be a beta. I've said that in the first video. I do not think this is going to be a widespread next step. Let me repeat that. I do not think this is going to be a widespread next step of DoorDash saying, hey, this is what it's going to be like. I believe what they're doing is just testing. Moving on. So if you're in the following marketplaces, it has been confirmed that the new order screen omitting the tip is in your marketplace, either in full or in parts of the state. So confirmed in Ohio, Michigan, Montana, Idaho, Arizona, here in Pennsylvania, I heard up in Erie, other places, Missouri, Oregon, California, Tennessee, and I'm sure a lot others. Again, let us know. This is why we're a team here. I mean, I'm just one person. I mean, come on. I'm just one person coming to you from Pittsburgh. I need to know, are you seeing, again, the traditional screen or this, A/B test, we'll call it, this new screen here? So the reports are, the latest is that drivers are reporting this. And here's maybe some consult to you, lean in for this. But the latest is that drivers are reporting that this is a shift change and or a day change. What do I mean by that? And again, this is big, so do lean in for this. So dashers that are seeing the new order screen that is omitting the tips, generally they're seeing it for only a singular shift, or even I've heard for a couple of orders, or just a day. And this is more evidence of possibly an A/B test here. So again, that's very important. So if you do have this, and again, let us know, because we really need to know, because this has just been happening in the past couple of weeks here. Drivers have been seeing, okay, I took a couple orders and it had this new screen, and then it reverted back to the regular screen a couple of orders after that. I've heard I did a shift and the next day it went away, which is, again, in my opinion, is pushing towards the A/B test. Now, folks, if you're watching this, well, firstly, if you're getting value, if you appreciate me bringing you this info from our community, make sure to drop a like if you're enjoying the content here. But I would say that if you're a dasher, I would take note of this. And again, it's some consult to you that I don't feel like this is going to crush you in the long term. At least let's hope. And I say that because, I mean, frankly, can I just speak frankly to you? If we see this new order screen that is omitting the tip, I think that would be, I'm just going to flat out say that's a massive mistake on DoorDash's end, being the #1 leader in the food delivery space. I think the reaction from dashers is swift and immediate. We saw it in the comment section. And I mean, hey, I support it. If I was driving on DoorDash and I'm driving on, I don't know, Grubhub or Uber Eats that have a better order request screen with more predictable pay, because they do, then what incentive do I have to continue to drive on DoorDash at least as much? And actually, we're going to touch on that in a little bit, going over your next steps here. Nextly, there's concerns over a new Dasher software update. Are these linked? This is something I've been hearing from you as well. Here's my opinion on this. And folks, I'm coming to you from a place of, hey, this is my opinion. I mean, if you're thinking, I mean, Mike, wait a minute, what is it? Is this 100%, the facts or not? Well, the fact is, a lot of these gig companies, they keep their strategies, close to the vest, and they're not going to outwardly say, hey, this is what we're doing, obviously, right? We're just kind of an intermediary with these apps here. So We don't know that, hey, this is this, this is that, this is just what I'm hearing from you. Anyway, there's a new Dasher software update. Let us know in the comments or the live chat if you've received a new software update. Now, here's my opinion on this. Based on what I've been seeing in our comments over on Discord, etc., I don't feel that this is necessarily directly linked to the new order screen. In my opinion, this is just my opinion here, I feel like you can go ahead and update your Dasher app. A lot of the times when you're getting any kind of app updates, there are bug fixes or software patches. It's not necessarily directly related to app features. I mean, if you look at the Uber Eats platform, they'll have you sign new addendums, different, whatever it is. It's usually addendums. I don't know what else to call it, right? You have to review it and sign that. But let us know. I mean, do you have a new software update in the past couple of weeks? Did you do the software updates? And did you notice after that there is the new order screen? In my opinion, I don't feel like it's directly linked because I feel like DoorDash is just throwing out these A/B tests kind of regardless of if you did the update, at least from what I'm hearing from you. Let us know down below in the comments if you feel the same way here. So what are you seeing as a Dasher? What are other Dashers actually seeing on the road here? So I asked you, what are you seeing? Are you seeing the regular screen or are you seeing the screen that is omitting the tips? And I want to get into really my strategy of next steps here. But before we do that, let's see what you're saying here. So I asked you simply, is the expected customer tip included in your quoted DoorDash Dasher payout, i.e. the order request screen? Are you seeing it or not? 58% of respondents, over 2,300 respondents said, yeah, I can see the tip. The tip is included in my order request screen. But 23% of Dashers said no. No, I can't see the customer tip included in my payouts. 19% said unsure. Now, this is just a community survey, but some food for thought here. What do you think? I need to hear from you because, all right, let's make sense of this number here. 23% said no. I cannot see the included tip. Why is that such a big deal? Because I feel like that's a pretty good sample size. If respondents were at maybe 10% or under 10% that said, no, I can't see the included tip, I think I'd be like, okay, yeah, then they're not doing a lot of these A/B tests. But 23% of 2,300 respondents said, no, I can't see that integrated tip, then there's some pretty decent A/B testing going on. And again, we saw some marketplaces that were affected, again, in part or in full. And I'm betting that there's even more marketplaces that are being affected that, we just haven't documented yet in that video, or hasn't been discussed in our Discord. So here's a question for you though. What do you think? This is a very interesting question. So we're seeing, this is the data from our community. This is, what's going on, A/B tests. These are the marketplaces that it's affecting. Here's the next question we really need to ask. How long do you think this is going to be present? Is it going to scale up? Is it going to stay the same? Is it going to scale down? Because speaking from my opinion here, from what I'm seeing from Dashers and what I anticipate is going to happen in these marketplaces is, again, the response from savvy Dashers like you, right, is you're not going to dash in the same way if you can't see the entire payout. Like, again, we'll go back to that comment that said 100% of zero is zero. I don't know if that payout is literally going to have zero tip on it. And it's going to be like Postmates. I'm going to complete that run expecting, it says whatever it is, the $250 base pay. You're not going to make a lot of money on base pay. I've said that before. You make the money with the bonuses and the tip. So you're making the base pay. It's like $3, whatever it is. Base pay can be anywhere from $2 to $10. That's directly from a DoorDash. It's based on a lot of things, like we mentioned, the desirability, etc. But what happens if you finish that run and it stays $4? And you say, okay, well, That was probably just that one time. I mean, statistically, I usually get 90, 95+% of my customers leaving a tip on any food delivery app. Sure, okay, well, yeah, mine's the same. It's probably just that one time. I'll keep driving on DoorDash. But what happens if that pattern would continue? You got the new screen, right? You can only see the base pay. It's quoted as $3, $4 base pay. You finish the run and it's $4. It's $5. When you really want to take a minimum of what, 7, 8, ideally $10+, having a dollars to mile ratio of 175 or higher, because that's my goal for you, is to have $1.75 per mile or higher. Let's move on, right? You get it. So knowing that what you're actually, knowing what this is what you're experiencing, this is what our community has responded here. Okay, so what are your next steps here? It's tricky because there's no hard and fast thing. Well, frankly, there isn't. There is no hard and fast thing that's going to say, hey, this is going to fix it on DoorDash, right? You have to roll with it. This is how you're going to have to roll with it. You have to do the basics. It's multi-apping. It's trend analysis. I hope you know that by now. If you're new, maybe this. This is why I repeat these things. If you've been following here for a while, you may say, hey, this guy says the same thing. He says the same thing every time. It's the same. It's like, look, you have to do the basics first, which is why I press on the basics. And keep in mind, there's new people joining every day. You got to understand the basics. Multi-app, drive on different apps at the same time, pick the best order for you. Trend analysis, 25% of respondents, I mean, you got to look inwards, are looking at trend analysis. 75% of our respondents are not looking at any data. You got to be looking at data. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to take it to the next level, consider looking at the data. So there is a free tool. It's on yourdrivermike.com. It is my website. Click on resources. There's a Excel sheet. There we go. There's an Excel sheet or a numbers sheet to track your miles. What I would do is I just create a separate tab. I duplicate the sheet. I create another tab and label it DoorDash new screen or something like that. And just look at the difference. It's really easy. You just punch in the numbers there. You look at the trend analysis. Am I making the same, more, or less money on this new order screen? And then you can actually see, not just guess, on where your earnings are. I think that's very important. Now, just in case you are new to the delivery space, on there as well, yourdrivermike.com/delivery is our master course on mastering delivery platforms. Right now, limited time, you can get 20% off using code SUPERCHARGE. But tip number 3, it's just talking with other drivers. It seems so simple. It seems so simple, but friends, whenever I'm out delivering, just because I just talk to other drivers, you're doing if you're waiting, obviously you don't want to wait, right? No one wants to wait when you're doing the pickup wherever, right? But if you're at Chipotle and you're waiting, because it's usually Chipotle, I'll just ask, hey, what are you driving on? How's it been? And I'll kind of pick their brain for bonuses. Hey, are you driving on any challenges? What's the peak pay like? What is the surge? Are you doing any quests on Uber Eats? Hey, you're doing Grubhub. How do you like Grubhub here? Because remember, these bonuses are driver specific and then they're market specific. So the way that we're going to relate this, let's pull this back into DoorDash here, right? Is I would say, hey, is your order request screen, is it still showing the tip? Because mine's not showing the tip. Or if you're still seeing the tip, hey, have you ever seen you're driving on DoorDash, right? Have you ever seen the screen not show you the included tip? Like, yeah, whoa, I just saw that. It just started today. I've heard of that. How long have you been seeing it, right? How have your earnings been? That's how you're going to help yourself when you're driving. It's just simply talk to your other drivers. Then you can see, this guy's been experiencing it for, a day, but then it went away. And then 2 drivers, 3 drivers told you that. So when it hits your account, you don't freak out. You say, okay, I'm going to just keep doing my thing. I'm going to drive smart. I'm going to multi-app. And then I'll anticipate it going away in 2 to 3 days or a day, because that's what the other drivers told me. And then if it doesn't, if it sticks around for a week or so, then you might want to escalate this. Maybe you want to reach out to support. Hey, I don't want this screen. Revert my screen if possible. I talk to other drivers. There's why is mine? I mean, you got to press it. Sometimes you got to be the squeaky wheel. There's no guarantee it would go back to the regular screen, but I mean, there you go. Being the squeaky wheel, having that negative response is gonna, and more of that is gonna let DoorDash know, hey, Dashers don't like this. So if you just, and here's, I'm gonna show you this next point here, down at the bottom, but I mean, changing your driving behavior. I've said it before, look at that bonus here to the right. It's a huge guarantee. It's not an extra bonus, this is a guarantee on Uber Eats. $15.50 for 110 deliveries. If I fall short, they'll pay the difference. I have a complete month to do it. I said this in a recent video. If you simply mix up your driving patterns, sometimes, in my opinion, this is straight up my opinion. This is not official because unfortunately, this is what we have to go on in a lot of these gig apps here. But in my opinion, sometimes it may switch up the algorithm. Who knows? That's just my opinion again. But it may generate more bonuses. Maybe, again, let's relate it back to DoorDash. Maybe it'll say, hey, as soon as we started this new order screen, this driver dipped. They were driving all the time. And as soon as we threw the screen at them, they stopped. Or their acceptance rate went tanked or something. They took one and then they stopped. They took two and then they stopped. Let me know where you're watching from. Let's take a sip of the little Topo Chico grapefruit here. Where you're watching from, do you have the screen? Do you not have the screen here? Let me know. Cool. So some things to avoid, okay? Don't delete your Dasher app. Don't delete the Dasher app. And I say that with purpose because I feel like there's a knee-jerk reaction to a lot of these apps that you get word of this, or maybe you have it for a day. Can you imagine deleting the Dasher app after you see this for a day or 2 days, and then it reverts back because it's an A/B test? And you're like, oh yeah, I drove on, you know, you just start. Maybe you're just starting and you don't know, or maybe, you know, you're a veteran and you see it and you're like, oh, this is what DoorDash has become. You delete the app. Little do you know, it's going to refresh back because it's just an A/B test in 2 days. Don't delete the app. Again, I would use literally any other strategy other than deleting the app. I would multi-app. I would ask the other drivers to find out what's going on in your marketplace. I would change your driving behaviors. Just don't delete the app because you never know. I have apps like Postmates. I have apps like Rapify. I've been qualified for Rapify here in Pittsburgh. I moved to San Diego. I moved back here to Pittsburgh, and I've never done a campaign, but I still have the app and I'm still activated. You know, some of these apps go out of business. And obviously, then you'd delete the app. But you know, I'm just waiting. I'm just leaving all of my options open. So nextly, don't delay any onboarding or signing up. I mean, if you're new, if you're thinking about driving, signing up, or continuing with your onboarding process, I wouldn't stop just because of this. I don't want you to think this, again, this is going to be wide-reaching. This is going to be permanent. Now, hey, I mean, this is why you're subscribed here. We're going to closely watch this. This is why I'm giving you this information today, which is newer than last week, basically, so you can be in the know here. So again, I don't want to waste your time. I appreciate it. Hey, one thing before you go here. Have you seen this? This is completely new as well, but I mean, let me know if you've seen this. I just want to throw this at you right as we close here, as we land the plane. Scheduled orders on DoorDash as well. Let me know if you want me to do a separate video live stream on this as well. But we've seen this on other apps, and this will just allow you to grab orders ahead of time, which is really interesting. So we'll see here, there's a scheduled order for, like, I don't know, tomorrow, right? So I can grab that order for tomorrow. It'll schedule me a dash, or I'll schedule my own dash. You know, that's your block of drive, and I'll drive from 12 to 3, whenever it is. And then I'll have an order already assigned, you know, at a certain time. I just want to show this to you, you know, real quick here. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. But I do appreciate you being here. So what we're going to do right now, your next step, if you can, there we go. I had to do some transitions there. Consider sharing this. I mean, especially because this is pretty new here. We will keep an ear to the ground with this Dasher order screen. Maybe this will be gone in a month. Who knows? Maybe this is going to extend to different marketplaces. We'll find out here. But that is certainly interesting to see on the Dasher platform. So if you did get value in this video, definitely drop me a like. I appreciate you being a team member here on the team. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing already for anything related to the gig economy, active and semi-passive revenue streams as well. And you can also click or tap the screen here for my newest video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.